Okay, guys, welcome back to another Front Office Football 9 video with the Buffalo Bills. Here we got a dynasty going here. About to enter the off season of 2025 after our second season. Um, we had a bit of a rough year by the score, 17 overall, out of 100, so not great for how we ran the franchise, especially when you look at just basically the roster construction. They rated our roster pretty poor, and then a lot of this is just like season score from for profit. Oh, that's like more of a financials, but the team performance didn't really do that well. We ended up missing the playoffs. We were in the lead, a 2-game lead for the division, and then ended up losing to New England, which put New England in the lead, and they held their own destiny from there. We knew it was going to be a step back. We were moving on from a lot of the core pieces of the roster, trying to fix, um, where some of our salary was allocated. This year we're 35 over the cap right now. A lot of that is because we have 47 million dead cap, leading the league, and that's mostly tied up in, I think, moving on from Diggs and some other players. So we're most likely going to have to restructure Josh's contract this year. That should open up some money, and we'll see if we can find some other avenues as well. We did manage to trade a couple of players. Let me see if I can get like a transaction history here just to give you guys. Trade HQ, is that where I can find this? Well, anyways, we ended up trading shoot. I gotta be able to find a transaction. Yeah, transactions log in here. Okay. For the Bills. And let's look at 2024. Okay. So Vaughn retired, Hyde retired. That was early in the year. Once we get to around the trade deadline, you can see that we ended up trading Khalil Shakir, and picked up 2 5th-round picks from the Jets for that. And then we also traded off Tyrell Dodson and a 4th-round pick for a second and a third from the Chargers. So a couple of sell-off moves in which, we just drafted really. I think we drafted well, and sorry about that. So yeah, I think just looking at the overall state of the roster here, we had to make those trades. Shakir wasn't really breaking past Shorter, Barkus, Noah Brown, or DJ Moore. And then down into the middle linebackers here, we actually ended up drafting both of these guys last year. 5th-rounder in Terrell Chaxfield, which looks like he's a hit. Jake Sadu in the 7th round, which he should be a beautiful backup piece. And then we still have Bernard under contract. And he's in his final year. I wonder if we can actually. I know there were some teams with interest for Bernard. No interest for him now. He's in final year of his deal. I don't think he's really going to be worth much anyway. 3rd-rounder didn't really pan out. So yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot with where the roster is now. It's just one more year of getting through some cap woes. We do have a lot of picks in the bank, so we should be able to make some things happen there. And then it's just a matter of, trying to decide which free agents we want to pick up. and go from there. So yeah, let's get into it here. I think the first thing we have to do is stadium plan deadline. Okay. You know what? I don't even know. And this is how bad of a manager I am here. We don't really, so our vote failed last time around. We do have some rising support to build. It went from 2 to 8. So I think, you know, there seems to be a rising interest to rebuild the stadium. I think let's try for 150 luxury boxes this time around, because we have 160 now and we're having trouble filling those. Team contribution. Let's go 614, 280. And we'll expect I can't wait for this to all right, so it's just an even number. All right. So yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I we'll contribute 615 million and ask Buffalo to supply us the other billion. I don't know how likely that is. But we'll submit this plan and see if that goes through. All right, and we'll learn after the draft. Okay. So, let's get a ticketing plan in place. Looks like ticket prices, they're going to keep them about the same. We still sold 100 last season, luxury boxes, so that was about the same as the year before, and we sold them at 150 instead. So let's just get them up to 200 and make them more premium. We might even, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. We sold all of our tickets last year. Sorry, so maybe going forward, if our stadium plan gets put down again, potentially we'll maybe up the capacity of the stadium to like 75,000 and maybe bring our luxury boxes down to like 125 or something. We'll see. But there's our ticket plan. Staff retention. We still have McDermott under contract. Matt Nagy, who I am still feeling okay about. Al Holcomb, we may want to find somebody who's a better play caller for our defense. That's about my only... Because our assistant coach, Taylor Carmen, is more of just like a motivation, developmental guy, scouting, whatever. So I think we need to find somebody better than Al Holcomb. And then I still like our trainer, the other Sean McDermott. So let's get into that. Our team staff is all under contract, so we'll be moving on from Al Holcomb here. All right. Available for current position. Okay. Play calling. Our defense is 4-3 right now. 4-3 under. So, yeah, and we're still pretty strong up front as far as, especially with the addition of Blodorn there. So we have bodies in there that can that make us really we want to be starting 4 defensive linemen, that's for sure. Let's get to, where's my staff stuff here? Let me just start over here. All right, defensive coordinator. So we want a 4-3 under. Play calling is what's really important to us right now. And this is our one here, Dave Tube. He's from Kansas City. We poached Matt Nagy from Kansas City, and maybe we should be doing the same here. Good play caller, good motivator, good player developer. I think that makes sense. D-line is his group. Okay. The other option is Terrell Holman. Yeah, I don't really want to noodle much on this. I think Dave Tube is probably the guy for the job here. Let's go ahead and hire him. All right. So I feel good there. Move on from Al Holcomb. Let's take a look at the draft class. A lot of quarterbacks at the top. 3 of them scored really well here. Underrated, as scouted, underrated. And then another one here, as scouted. Okay, so those guys are all going to go pretty early. We are picking 15th, so we're actually quite a bit higher this year. I think we have a lot of picks. And I think we should probably just be staying at home and picking unless of course we get asked to like trade or something like that, whatever. So yeah, I think I feel good about this. Franchise player deadline. Okay. So we can tag somebody. Might be right to tag Dawkins, who's still a really good player, but I don't want to sign him. Nobody really knows who he is, huh? But I also don't know that we have the ability to bring him back necessarily. We're going to be really short at tackle without him, so yeah. We're 35 mil over the cap right now. Okay. The first thing, we might have to restructure Josh at some point. Which will push back a good chunk, probably like 20 into each of the next seasons. Ooh, we're that's tough pill to swallow. Let me see what other contracts we have that we could possibly get rid of. Russo's counting for 20 this year. Ed Oliver. See, Ed Oliver's the one that's interesting because yeah, he just doesn't start for us, and I just can't understand why. He only started 7 games for us when there were injuries and things of that nature, so maybe it's time to move on from Ed Oliver. Let's see if that's even possible. Atlanta is interested. Let's see what we could get for Ed Oliver from Atlanta. So we give him our third. We move back 3 slots and pick up. So essentially like a pick swap, and we get a second rounder in 2027. Okay. About Minnesota. We give up a 4th. We get a 3rd this year. And then a 7th next year. Yeah, I think I like the idea of getting that second in 2027 just by moving back 3 picks. And yeah, his contract ends in 2028. Oh, it's gonna kick another 18 mil, or sorry, another 12 mil down the road. But we're probably hmm. Hmm. Okay, well, let me think on that one, because like, kicking another 12 down the road isn't super helpful. Taron Johnson, we'd save 10 mil on. Matt Milano, we'd save 9 mil. We got to be looking at contracts that end in 2026, though. At this point, I think Rousseau was like a 76, and now he's down to a 70. He's obviously very good. But he definitely took a step back last year. He's got no bonus. This is all... He's definitely expendable. 21 mil. And that happens to be the strongest part of our roster. Because we do have our rookie, or our second-year guy, Blodorn, who could step right in. Epinesa, who we have signed to a cheap deal. And that would save us 20 mil in cap. Would not hurt us at all, and we could probably pick up some assets for it. All right, let's see what we even trade him, yeah. San Fran is interested. So we'd send off, we'd get a pick swap for a 4th and then grab a 5th for him. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. We just get a 5th round pick for the 70 overall player who's probably one of the best DNs in the league by overall. Dallas. We'd pick up a 5th and a 7th next year. New England. We'd get a 4th and a 5th this year. And we'd send them a 4th in 2027. We have a lot of picks this year, so I'm not concerned with getting picks this year. So I might go with this Dallas offer, I think. A 5th this year, and then a 7th next year. Oh, wait, what was the other one? San Fran's? Pick swap and then grab a 5th. Yeah, I think Dallas seems like the best option. Let's just check Green Bay. Or Minnesota. Nah, okay. Let's go with this Dallas one. We get a 5th rounder this year, and then pick up a 7th next year. Okay. It was a position of strength. So now we're looking at starting our second-year guy, Blodorn, Epinesa, and then we have another two second-year guys behind them. Yeah, it was just one of those things where, well, these guys are both unrestricted free agents, so we would have to sign them. We can do that. But yeah, our starting DNs, good enough there, and they're at a really good value. Oliver, D-tackle. So now we're pretty much sticking with Oliver there. There's no interest in Bernard. We've already seen that. 2 linebackers here. Strong side and weak side for Dorian and Milano. Milano's getting paid a good deal here. And he's not really one of our best players. We would tack 6 on next year by getting rid of him, and we would save 10 this year. And we're still 15 over the cap right now, so we do have to make another move. That's a possibility. Tamar's a free agent. Let me think here. So, yeah, Taron Johnson. We've gotta continue to cheapen up this roster a little bit if we can here. Do a little penny pinching. These guys are both free agents. Tough job. Tough job here. We could move on from McGovern and just throw David Edwards into the fire. See what he's made of. I mean, it's, you know, it's a slight drop. McGovern's in the final year of his deal. We could see what's out there for McGovern. No real interest there. No interest in Edwards. I really don't want to move on from Oliver just because he should be starting now, first of all, but also it's just too much to get after. There's no interest in Milano, so he would just be a straight up cut. I don't think that would really, I'm not sure that would really help us. Okay. End of the, you know, basically moral of the story, we're not signing anyone on the franchise tag, so we can move on from that. Free agency. We've already started to look at who we could possibly retain on this team. We can see what Donald Hugh is worth here. Oh, right, because we're still over the cap. Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to we pretty much have to bet on Josh. I mean, it would not be a good look for our franchise to get rid of him. So I think we have to set up a cap out and push a bunch of money next year and the following, 13 mil in each season, and we would cut about 25 mil from his cost this season. All right, so there's that. Now we're 10 above, or 10 below, sorry, 10 below the cap. So we've got a little wiggle room. I don't know if that's all that we should be doing quite yet. Let's look at our contracts again here. We could save about 4 mil by getting rid of Noah Brown. Noah Brown does have a really good chemistry with Josh, though. I'm not sure that would be the move quite yet. DJ Moore, however, mild negative chemistry. He did lead our team in receiving, but if we're going to be drafting another receiver, which I could make an argument for it, we probably could. Might be worth getting rid of DJ Moore to save a few bucks. Ryan Bates, we should almost certainly be getting rid of Bates here. That'll save us 4 mil. And just leaning into, we could lean into one of our undrafted free agents. It's probably just a good idea to find somebody else to handle that. McGovern might be worth moving on from and just leaning into David Edwards at left guard. It's on a much cheaper deal. Could save about 6 and some change. Not going to hurt us next year. And then we're sort of moving into position to re-sign Spencer Brown potentially. We have 27 mil in space. So we can go ahead and it looks like we should be able to sign Spencer Brown. That's a pretty good deal that he's given us. So let's do that. Lock him up. We have about 31 mil in space right now. What would Dawkins look like? He wants a 3-year deal. I don't know that I'm ready to hand that out to Dawkins, who's already been on a bit of a slide. What would it cost to bring Tommy Doyle back? A couple mil? Nordby would be asking for about $1.5 million. Myrick would be asking for about $1.5 million, 3-year deal. I don't know that I'm ready to commit to that. Hensley's still a nice little piece at split. Batcher potentially. I don't know how much these guys would cost us though. About $1 million for this season. That's possible. It's undrafted free agent Shane Chen. Let's see what Shane Chen would cost here. Nothing too crazy. A couple other undrafted free agents in Butin and Henry Ezel. Butin would only cost 9.10. I'll bring that back. Ezel cost about $1 million for the next couple of years. That's fine. I think those are solid depth pieces, pretty cheap. Let's see what these 3 are looking like here. So this one gonna cost a little bit more, closer to 2 mil. Closer to 2 mil. We can bring back Klein though for $1 million a piece. All right, so Klein gets in there. Still some untapped potential maybe. Middle linebacker. Those guys are all in. Henry Bach was an undrafted free agent. Yeah, just cost him short of $1 million to bring him back. Corner, we have Dane Jackson on still. How much is Donald Hugh gonna cost here? A little bit cheaper. I wonder if we can... Dane Jackson, we'd save 3 mil. We can bring back Hugh instead for like $1 million less or so. Penny pinching, but I think that, yeah, that sounds like the right move to make. And then these other corners, kind of like little depth pieces. 2-year deal this guy wants. This guy just wants a 1-year deal. I'll sign Leslie back. DeMar Hamlin, what's he gonna run us? Oh, just 2 mil on a 1-year deal. Yeah, that's fine. It'd be a nice bridge to see what we got in Caden Severns and JT Chacon. All right, so I think maybe we just signed Chen here, but I don't want to be locked up 3 years with one of those guys. These two centers. I want to get another look at Roman Mage. Not sure I'm going to be holding on to Vivancho. Hensley, I'll get one more look at him for 1 mil. And 1 mil here for Bratcher as well. I think they both had good chemistry with Josh. Yeah, both had positive chemistry. So that's good. So we still have 21 mil in space, and we have 51 players on the roster. Gardner Minshew still on. I'm not even sure it's worth it to keep Minshew on. I might just draft a quarterback this year or something. Save like over $1 mil with that. Tight end. We have Joel Wilson still, but is he even worth it to keep on? These guys are both about $1.5 million. Not sure it's worth it for either of them. All right, so it comes down to this, right? Doyle wants a couple mil. Dawkins, I'm gonna throw him an offer. I'm gonna throw him a 1-year deal. Well, this would be 20 mil cap cost as is. Nah, it's just not gonna work. I think we have to move on. Okay. I think we are pretty covered right now. I think that looks pretty good. All right. And now I think we can, it's opened up to wait a minute. We're opened up to free agency here. Okay. Are players not available yet? I'm confused. During free agency, teams can sign players who are not currently under contract at this time. Okay. I'm gonna cut it here and then we'll tackle free agency in the next video, but thank you guys for watching. I think we're starting to turn the corner. We had a little bit of a retooling year last year, so I think we'll see some better performance from the team this year, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming draft, which we did really well on last season. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.